Hey everyone, my name is John Liu, Product Marketing for SAP Build, and today I am joined by Angela Harvey, also from SAP, and also as well as Chris Cowan-Banker from TruQua, an IBM company. They are also an SAP partner as well. And today we have a very exciting topic. I'm sure many of you guys have heard about it, but we're going to be talking about AI and specifically the context of automation. So today we're going to talk about, what are the common challenges with automation and AI? What are some customer examples of that? And also we're going to hear from industry experts, Angela and Chris, on their perspective on AI and automation. So without further ado, let's kick it off.
My name is Angela Harvey, so I lead marketing and solution management for automation here at SAP. Part of that is working with customers and partners to understand what they need from our automation solutions, and then also sharing the amazing stories of what customers and partners are doing, including Chris. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, great to be here, John and Angela. So I'm Chris Cowan-Banker. I'm from TruQua, an IBM company. And here at TruQua, I am associate partner for financial close transformation. So we really just focus on helping companies, get a fully integrated financial close journey completed.
All right, thanks for the introduction. So let's get started with the first question. What are some common customer challenges that you've seen today across industries?
Really the top three, I would say, are really a lack of knowledge around what tools are out there. So, clients know I've heard of this and I've heard of Scenario and business process transformation, but what are the tools out there? What are all of them and how we can use them? And then really just the second would be like a lack of understanding of what each of them do and how your organization can leverage each of them. And then really the next one is kind of the third one here is learning how to integrate these solutions, right? So if you can understand what's out there, then you can turn around and say, what do we use them for? What's the best tool for my organization? How do you take these tools and you start to connect them and really leverage the capabilities of, kind of non-siloed solutions to have fully integrated solutions? And those are really three of the biggest challenges we see out there.
Awesome, thanks Chris. So our next question is, how is automation and AI being used by SAP customers?
A couple of the usage patterns that we see around automation and AI together is one, reducing, routine tasks. So think the things that we all do every day that we don't necessarily enjoy. So things like copying and pasting. Maybe you're in, order entry and you're having to copy and paste from multiple systems. Tools like RPA can really replace a lot of those routine tasks. So that's one place we see AI being used a lot with automation. Another place that AI is really handy in the context of automation is for decision support. So, now it's when we're recording this video, it's around the holidays and we're getting a lot of vacation requests as managers. So a place where AI can help us say, this is a typical request. In the past, you've approved these requests, or giving you other context to help with your decision. And where it starts to get really cool, though, is generative AI opens up a ton of new use cases around AI and automation. So for example, it can do things like actually build out a workflow based on prompts. So it could say, build me a workflow for vacation approvals. But it's important, exactly to the point Chris made about what to use when, but also how do you use those tools? So when you're looking for an automation or AI solution, you should really look to make sure there's opportunities to put a human in the loop. And a lot of times customers feel more comfortable automating a process if they can have a person there to do the final checkpoint or sanity check.
Great. So the next question is, what are some activities or manual processes that customers are automating?
Reducing manual tasks and routine tasks, right? That's the biggest thing we hear from the office of the CFO is how we get focused on eliminating non-value-added work and driving value-added work.
One place that surprisingly we see a lot of automation in our clients is with HR processes. And I say surprisingly because my bias would be that maybe HR is like, let's not eliminate roles or things like that. But where we see HR really embracing it is more just enriching people's lives and taking away that, that non-value added work. It often is not very rewarding or fulfilling, like people don't want to be doing it. So we see a lot of our success factors customers actually introducing automation. Some of the use cases are things like offer letter generation, or for recruiters, checking for duplicate resumes. Often people apply for more than one job within an organization.
Awesome. So what are some traditional automation challenges that you see customers are facing?
We really kind of look at a lot of the transformation kind of as a patchwork quilt. And I can't take credit for this because I got this at an SAP conference and I thought it was genius. But the individual on stage said, think about a patchwork quilt. You have all these quilt squares out there. We've put them together. And once you put them together and they start talking, you have this full quilt that is functional and it works. And that's really the end game we should focus with on, whether it's generative AI or just process optimization through all these ERP journeys that we're going to go on.
What we found with a lot of our customers for early automation projects is, they failed because people were simply automating the wrong things. To also use an example from an SAP conference at Sapphire this year, I had one, and John, you've heard the quote before, but one customer came up and he's like, I would rather have one bot that runs 300 times than 300 bots running once. So we did see a lot of automation projects not be as successful as they could be because people were simply automating the wrong things. And that's why I love the concept of a process COE, because IT is usually the ones implementing it, but the business users are the ones closest to the challenge. So having that kind of line of sight and agreement between the two on what to automate, I think is really compelling. Otherwise, you do end up a little bit with like bots gone wild and just too many RPA bots because all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Another challenge too that I think you touched on, Chris, is just this ability to really measure the ROI of automation projects. Like what does good look like? What does success look like? And kind of getting a baseline of that before and after state.
And can you help define what does enterprise automation mean?
So we call it enterprise automation. Gartner calls it hyper automation. A lot of analysts have different terms for it, but really what it really boils down to is everything that can be automated should be automated. And it starts with having visibility into all of your processes. So that's where tools like Signavio can help you really understand what processes are working, what processes are you running, what do you need to clean up? And it can help build that consensus that I mentioned, the challenge between IT and the business of what to automate. So it gives you a bit of the roadmap on what to automate. Then tools like integration or iPaaS, so we've got SAP Integration Suite, are really important because you can't automate what you can't connect to. And then a solution like SAP Build Process Automation is really about connecting your entire landscape with automation, whether it's workflow management or RPA or a combination of the two.
One of the other things with this is really the ability to have an advanced workflow management capabilities. They're flexible. You've got rules that you can set that run just really well. So it drives a very proactive interface for users to use where they can, achieve automation without having to go your traditional IT footprint.
So what strategies should organizations consider when they are planning to implement process mining or process automation projects?
I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback I would give is, have a good strategy overall and make sure everybody knows the strategy, but celebrate those milestones, right? You might be 6 months in and you get your first win, celebrate that win, right? Celebrate the next milestone. And as you continue to build on these and celebrate the wins, you'll end up, getting that 3 to 5 year transformation program over, but don't forget to celebrate the wins in between. And that way the bigger ERP transformation doesn't feel so overwhelming. But don't forget to ask your subject matter expert, your process owners, let's make sure that we are automating the right processes and the root cause of the problem, because what we think might be the problem might not be the problem. So let's get the root cause of the problem. Don't forget to benchmark and benchmark early. We'll get started and, we've all been in that room with the executives and they say, hey, can you tell me what we got out of this? What was the ROI? How many hours of efficiency did we drive? And you're sitting there thinking, Well, I know what we're doing today, but
Yeah.
did I benchmark at the beginning? And most of us only make this mistake once. But benchmark early, know your starting point, and that way, when you get to the end, you truly know what you achieved, and that also allows you to look back and say, these were things that were out of scope, and we know we didn't get them, so we can come back and get them later.